Shabbat Shalom. May we all rise and face seats so we may say Shabbat prayers. Hallelujah. Starting with the Psalm for the Shabbat day, Psalm 92. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yah and to sing praise unto thy name, O Most High, to relate thy steadfast love in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon a psaltery, upon a harp with the solemn sound. For thou, Yah, hast made me glad through thy works. I will triumph in the works of thy hand. O Yah, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man does not know, nor does a fool understand this. When the wicked spring like the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yah, art most high forevermore. For lo thy enemies, O Yah, for lo thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a wild ox. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye has seen the downfall of my enemies, and my ears have heard the doom of the wicked who rise against me. The righteous flourish like the palm tree. He grows like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that are planted in the house of Yah shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall bring forth fruit in old age. They are fat and flourishing to declare that Yah is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Hallelujah. Please turn to Psalm 125. They who trust in Yah shall be like Mount Zion, which cannot be removed but abideth forever. As the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so is Yah round about his people, from henceforth even forever. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands into iniquity. Do good, O Yah, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. As for such as turn aside to their crooked ways, Yah shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Yisrael. Hallelujah. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 through 15. Hallelujah. Hear, O Yisrael, Yah our Elohim, Yah is one. And thou shalt love Yah thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently to thy children. And thou shalt talk of them when thou sittest in the house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the doorposts of thy house and on thy gates. And it shall be when Yahweh Elohim shall bring thee forth to the land which he swore to thy fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, to Yisrael, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not, and houses full of all good things which thou fillest not, and hewn out wells which thou diggest not, vineyards and olive trees which thou plantest not. When thou shalt eat and be full, beware lest Yah forget Yah the Elohim, who brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt fear Yah thy God and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after the gods of the other gods of the gods of the people who are round about you, for Yah thy Elohim is a jealous God among you, lest the anger of Yah thy God be inflamed against thee, and he destroy thee from off the face of the earth. Hallelujah. Now please turn to Isaiah chapter 58, verses 13 and 14. Hallelujah. If thou refrain thy foot because of the Shabbat from pursuing thy business on my holy day, and call the Shabbat a delight, a holy day of Yah the honorable, and shall honor it, not doing thy own ways, nor pursuing thy own business, nor speaking of vain matters, then thou shalt delight thyself in Yah, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Yisrael thy father, for the mouth of Yah has spoken it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, thank you the Most High for this holy Shabbat day, for just allowing us to have made it to another day and have made it through the week safely and protecting us from dangers seen and unseen. Blessed be the King of the universe for so many things. Words can't even form to begin to express my gratitude. But I thank the Most High for allowing me to sit before you all on this holy Shabbat day. It's always a pleasure and a blessing and truly humbling. And I just want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for this holy Shabbat day. And I pray that you all are well. Thanking the Most High for the life of Hanasi Zippor Ben Zavulun, for his leadership for Shema Yisrael, and for always being a diligent soldier and a father figure to many of us. I thank the Most High for his life and pray that the Most High continue to guide, shield, and protect him. I thank the Most High for Prince Nat Ben Hanasi Zippor, for his servant leadership and for always being willing to listen and help and being such a kind person. I pray the Most High continue to be with him. And I thank the Most High for the leader of our household, Ma'ish, Chief Dahweed, for his servant leadership and for always being an exemplary person to not only our family, but people in our community, and for always doing the best he can to be a righteous person, and I'm being my partner in this walk. So I thank the Most High for all of your lives, and for my father and my mother and my grandmother for even putting me on this way, on this path that I continue to strive for every day. Thank the Most High for you all and all of those that are in the sound of my voice. Shabbat Shalom. I pray you all are well on this Shabbat day, and I pray you all had a blessed week, and the Most High is with you, and I thank the Most High for allowing me to sit before you on this day. As many of you know, my name is Rajini, and it has been some time that we haven't had a Shabbat evening lecture, so it's truly humbling to be able to speak to you all on this day. It's always a pleasure and a blessing to talk to the Most High's people. So Shabbat Shalom. I would like for us to read in the book of Prophet Daniel, chapter 3. And the title for this lecture is Trusting in the Most High, the Most High Yah. To put in, when I say trust, it's not just like a faith thing, you know, because you do have to have faith, but it's beyond faith. At some point in our lives, we have to say we know for an assurity that the Most High is with us, and we have to lead our lives as such, and we have to show our children that we truly believe that this King will guide our lives, and that he is in the forefront of our lives, and that we put all our trust and our might in him, and we live by example. So I would like to start off with Deuteronomy 3, because in this story with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were in captivity in Babylon, and their unwavering trust and faith and not full 100% belief that the Most High was going to be with them is something that is truly inspiring, and something that we all should learn from and put it into our own lives. So let's read. So we are in the book of Daniel, chapter 3, verse 1. Hallelujah. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits, the breadth of which was 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babel. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent together the satraps, the prefects, and the governors, the counselors, the treasurers, the justices, the magistrates, and all the rulers of the province to come to the declaration of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. Then the satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the counselors, the treasurers, the justices, the magistrates, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together to the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, "To you it is commanded, O peoples, nations, and tongues, that when you hear the sound of the horn, the pipe, the lyre, the trigon, the harp, the bagpipe, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast in that same hour in the midst of a burning fiery furnace." Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the horn, the pipe, the lyre, the trigon, the harp, and all kinds of music, all the peoples, nations, and tongues fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Therefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Hebrews. They spoke and said to King Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the horn, the pipe, the lyre, the trigon, harp, and bagpipe, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. But whosoever does not fall down and worship, he shall be cast in the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Hebrews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the provinces of Babel. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, these men, O king, have not regarded thee. They do not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said to them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my God, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if you are ready when you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and all kinds of music, to fall down and worship the image which I have made, well and good. But if you do not worship, you shall be cast in the same hour in the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is the God who shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer thee in this matter. Behold, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us. He can deliver us from the burning fiery furnace and out of thy hand, O king. But if he does not, be it known to thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Now, for them to stand before the king at the time, Nebuchadnezzar, which was a very powerful man, and to be so bold and say, oh, I know my king will deliver me. And even if for whatever reason, because they were in captivity, sometimes the Most High doesn't do what you might think and hope that he does do, because maybe it's not in your best interest. But that didn't even concern them. They said, whether he does or he don't, we're not going to worship your gods. We are going to stand true to the king of the universe, to the Most High God. And we're not going to do something that will make the Most High jealous, that will make the Most High angry, no matter if it's on the pain of death, that they were at risk of being burned alive. But they didn't waver. Their faith, their wholehearted trust, their know for and a surety made them strong enough to stand before this great man and say, nope, I will not bow down to your God. Let's continue. Verse 19. Hallelujah. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the expression of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spoke and commanded that thou shalt heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wanted to be heated. And he commanded that the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their mantles, their tunics, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men who had seized upon Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spoke and said to his counselors, Did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? Then answered and said to the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men unbound, walking in the midst of the fire. They have no hurt, and the appearance of the 4th is like an angel. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spoke and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servant to the Most High God, come out and come here. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the midst of the fire. And the satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was a hair of their head singed, nor were their mantles damaged, nor had the smell of fire passed over them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him, setting aside the king's word and yielding their bodies that they might not serve or bow down to any god except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and tongue that speaks anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver out after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babel. Nebuchadnezzar the king, to all the peoples, nations, and tongues that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. I thought it good to report the signs and wonders that high God has wrought towards me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. Hallelujah. Wow. That story truly does inspire me. It is amazing. Not only did they have unwavering faith as they spoke, the Most High showed them that they were right in their choice, and he was with them, and he protected them. He sent a host to watch over them. He shielded them, as he does many of us in this captivity. And those of us that it comes from this type of experience. Before this, they had seen the Most High's greatness. When they refused to eat the food, they was able to flourish because the Most High was with them. And experience is the best teacher when it comes to life, because it can tell you. And if those of us that have witnessed the Most High in our lives, we walk differently, we talk differently. Our example is inspiring to others because we've lived it. And for those of us that may have experienced it but didn't necessarily know to give it the Most Highest credit, trust me, you woke up this morning. There is credit to be always given to the King. Those of us that have children, our children are healthy, or even if they aren't healthy, they're still alive and they're here. All of those things should be, the Most High deserves the glory and the homage and just utmost gratitude. So there's always a reason to give prayer and give thanks. Don't let all of our prayers be to ask the Most High for something. We have to be genuine in thanking him for all that he does for us, that we woke up this morning, that we have food to put on our tables, that we can smile, and even to observe this Shabbat. There was a time when our people, and still a time when there are people that don't even know that this is the Shabbat day. So those of us that are sitting here today or around the world considering this the seventh day and have ceased from what we normally do and are keeping this day holy, that is a huge blessing. And those of us that are teaching our children to do the same, many of our children have never worshiped another God as we were victims of. That is a huge blessing. And I thank the Most High every day for allowing me the opportunity to know, so that I can teach my children, so that they may have a chance in this world and maybe even make it to be a part of the remnant. Because as we know, the Most High is making a discernment between those that will make it and those that aren't. And I thank the Most High for so many great things. Words can't express it. So I just wanted to share with you all, because I know I see the Most High do so many great things in my family, in my life, with the child that grows inside of my belly, as many of you know, I am expecting. And to watch it go from nothing to a person, and to watch them grow, and for my older children to watch them call on the Most High's name and to build a relationship with him, that creates an unwavering, not beyond trust. It becomes a part of your know-how. Just like you could read a book and say, I know what this book says because I read it. It becomes a part of your life where you know for an surety the Most High is with you. But that doesn't come by just saying it. We have to be in we have to be righteous. We have to be living it. We have to be pursuing it. We have to be doing the acts that he tells us to do. That's why this book is so important, to study the guidelines that he's given us and to say, oh, these are the things that I could do in this day and age. I'm going to do them the best I can. Those are the things that give us the ability to be able to call on the Most High and for him to be with us. See, these men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Prophet Daniel, they did the thing. They said, I'm not going to eat the king's meat. And they trusted that the Most High was going to be with them. So when its time came and they called upon him, the Most High was with them because they were right. They were leading righteous lives in their even in their captivity. So many of us, some people will say, well, we're in captivity, we can't do sacrifices, so I'm not going to keep the Shabbat. Well, one thing doesn't have anything to do with the other. Those are two different commandments. One you can do in this captivity. There are laws that we can do. We can refrain from eating unclean. There's clean things that we can eat. There's clean places that we can eat from. And if there's not a clean place near you, you can always buy food and cook. You can always resort to fruits and vegetables like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did. They refused to eat the meat, so they ate vegetables, fruits, drank water. They didn't let the temptation get the best of them. And all of us fighting for right in our lives, this is what we have to do so that when we call on the Most High, the Most High will hear us. The Most High will be with us. We're in a time right now when the wicked is on all four sides, and even some of our children aren't able to return to school because they're taking away the religious exemption. For those of you that know, many of us don't vaccinate our children, and because of such, we would claim a religious exemption in schools. And for many years, even many decades, this has been acceptable for the Department of Education until recent. And now they don't want us to file a religious exemption. So many of us aren't able to send our children to school. And for some people that aren't able to homeschool, that's a very scary thing, because what are you going to do? But you have to trust that the Most High is going to be with us, even in what it seems like a calamity, because guess what? We really should be coming up with a plan B for school. It shouldn't just be the vaccinations. It should be the homosexual agenda. It should be the fact that our children spend more time in school than they do with their parents. It should be that they teach them so many secular things that have nothing to do with our way of life. We should be trying to find another way of educating our children. But yet, many of us don't have a choice. And so I get it why we put our children in public school. But now the Most High is not giving us a choice. So it's time to buck up and handle it and actually rally together as a village. So for those of us that can educate, for those of us that can homeschool, for those of us that can do something to help as a village, then the time is now. We're losing our options because the Most High is pushing us together. Many of us are very spread out, and I'm doing my own thing, and I got my own thing going on here. And the time for that is coming to an end, because only together can we really flourish in this captivity. And when we come together in the name of the Creator and we put our resources together, see, these men, they had their strength from each other. Sometimes it's hard to stand by yourself, even though you have to, no matter what. But they had each other, so it was like, what? If I go down, I got my brothers on both sides of me. I'm going to be strong. And they were each other's strength, and we have to be each other's strength. We have to rally together. These men, Prophet Daniel showed them that I'm not afraid to speak out, and that inspired them too. So, and this is during a captivity where they watched a lot of their families, a lot of their friends die or be left in Jerusalem, which calamity befell them. And they watched their people be drugged out of their homeland and brought to a foreign land. The Most High they saw the greatness of the king, and that strengthened them when they stood before Nebuchadnezzar. So I pray that this inspires each and every one of us as we live our everyday lives and we go through our different walks, that we understand that the Most High is so great and so worthy to be praised, and to give him the glory, and to know that when you're doing all the things that he requires of us to do to the best of your ability. We have days when we're not perfect, and we have days when we may falter, and we have days when we might have a woe is me day or just a very challenging day. And because we're human, but even in those moments, you get on your knees and you cry out and ask the Most High to give you the strength, and know that he is with us. But we have to be doing the things that are worthy to even cry out to the King. This is not something that we can, this is something that, I could just read the book and I could pray one day a week and I'm going to be all right. This is an everyday 24/7 pursuit. This righteousness is a journey. It is something that we have to shed the bad and build up the good. It's something that we have to every day be a representation of the Most High in the earth. This is something that when you meet the lady next door and the person down the block or the lady in the store, that they see that you're a representation of God. When you see the person on the train station asking for $1, that they see that you're a representation of God. When people meet you, they should meet a representative of the Creator. Those are the things that get us even the ability to cry out to the Most High, for him to listen to us. And I can only speak this because I lived it. Even just recently, the Most High just always shows me that he's with my family and I, and he continues to go before us and set things up for us that I didn't even think to ask for, but yet they come to me, and it's just such a blessing. It comes from experience. It comes from making mistakes and saying, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, y'all. I ask that you forgive me. We all are not perfect, but those of us that say, you know what, I made a mistake, even to understand that there's something that we made a mistake and we should ask the Most High for forgiveness. That's the Most High being merciful unto us, because he's pulling our coat and saying, this is the thing that I want you to master. This is the thing I want you to be better at. So fix this. And that's the Most High being with us. So take those chastisements with your head held high, because it shows us that the Most High is being merciful, and the Most High is keeping us in his midst. And I see the Most High do it with me every day. And it's the times when he chastises me, and then there's times when he rewards me, and I see it, and I'm so grateful for it. And I just want to thank the Most High for all his great wonders. And I want to thank you all for listening today. And I pray that we continue to strive to be better. And I pray that this story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego strengthens you in your walk, because I know that we live out here in a wicked world and a captivity, and it's heavy around us, but don't falter. Have the strength of these great men that stood up for right no matter what it took. And the Most High showed them that he was with them, and he will be with you and I as we continue to strive for righteousness. Praying that the Creator of heaven and earth be with you all, and that my words today were pleasing before him. And I pray if anything I said in error, that the Most High forgive my transgression and shortcoming, as I only strive to please him. And I thank you all for taking time to listen on this day. May the rest of your Shabbat be blessed. May your week be blessed. May the Most High continue to be with you, and may this holy day be a blessed holy day. Torah Yah for all things and everything. We will now close out with the prayer. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Torah Yah for this holy Shabbat day, for your many blessings, for your grace and your mercy, for allowing me to call upon your name on this day, Yah, for allowing us to keep this holy Shabbat day, for allowing us to even know that you are the King of the universe, and to put our trust in you, Yah, for putting this message in my heart and in my mind, Most High, to bring to your people, and praying that it was pleasing before you. Blessed be your high holy name. Shema Yisrael, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad. Baruch Shem Kevu, Makuto, Yehovah, Torah Yah for all things and everything. Blessed be your high holy name. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom, family. If you would like to be in service at Shema Yisrael, we're located at 297 Saratoga Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, between Dean and Pacific Streets. Service starts at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. May you all have a blessed Shabbat day. Hallelujah.